So today we're gonna paint up this Logan head I got in the same commission batch as the Beast head in the previous video. So let's start. I started with painting the beard, well, all the hair, because it's like 60% of the entire head. And I did this by, I diluted a lot of black paint and just let it all seep into the cracks. It's still quite a lot of paint though, so it should be enough to cover the majority of it. But yeah, this was a very time-consuming process, so I'm not really sure if I'm filming the entire thing. There we go, all the major areas of the hair is finished except the eyebrows. And speaking of eyebrows, I believe that's what we're gonna do now. So instead of just doing one big line of black paint, I'm sort of gently brushing it on in strokes. I find that this makes it look a bit more natural, otherwise it just looks like a big fat caterpillar above the eye. So this head already has a pretty nice skin tone, so I decided to not base it with my usual Cadium flesh tone. So I went straight for a Reichland flesh shade wash to give the wrinkles some definition. I'm sort of experimenting here as I go. You're gonna see me in a bit. I'm gonna remove most of the wash with a piece of tissue. This is pretty much just to see what sort of effect I would get. Snatched a little piece of the eyebrow there as well, because I didn't let the paint dry. So putting some more Reichland flesh shade along the lip. I like Reichland flesh shade quite a lot, just to it usually tints, like if you have like a base skin color, skin tone over the entire head, and then you just put on a very faint layer of Reichland flesh shade, it tints it just enough to make a pretty nice lip color. So here I'm going in with a dry brush of some white mixed with Cadian flesh tone. I wasn't really worried about the contrast of the color being too much, because in the movie Logan, his skin is quite sun damaged, so it looks a bit crackly and speckled, so I thought this would sort of get that impression through. So now we're gonna do the eyes. Starting with the eyelashes, we just sort of outline the eyes. I don't really know what it was with this head cast, but there was something a bit irregular about the molding of the eyes. It was a bit difficult to get the paint to lay the way I wanted it to. Anyway, now we're filling in with some Vallejo off-white. You don't want to use like blinding white for the eyes, it just ends up looking a bit cartoony. Continuing on, paint a black dot in the middle of the eyes. I think I messed up on the left. Yeah, I messed up on this left eye. So here I go. I think I'm trying to put some more white on the edge. This is also where I noticed that following the eyebrows, he ended up looking a bit too sad. So I'm gonna go back and fix that in a bit. So if Reichland Flesh Shade isn't enough to convey lips, usually what I do is I take some... basically I mix the same skin tone and I add just like a tiny bit of red. Like I said, a very, very tiny bit of red, because red is a pretty strong color that can overpower the skin color quick. Here we go aging the beard a bit, just by dry brushing. I soon realized that this grey was way too dark. There we go, that's more like it. Along here, I also realized that as much as I like the whole sunburnt skin type of look, I think the lightness of the dry brush on the skin was a little bit distracting, so a bit later on off camera I go and put some Reichland Flesh Shade and I gently go over the entire head to make the two colors blend a little bit more. Here I'm using some Agrax Earth Shade to shade around the eyes. And here is the final head. I'm not really that satisfied with him, to be honest, but it's more of a thing. He looks really good from, like, the side he looks really good. Looking slightly front from the side, he looks really good, and then head on, it just something looks a little bit off. I can't really put my finger on it, but I tried, and I hope my client likes it, and I hope you liked it too.